Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's webinar. So I just want you to just feel free to, I'm just going to do a little test just to say hi. If you could just type in hi if you can hear me. Not Hi. Oh, hi. Thank you so much for that, Jen. Brilliant, brilliant. All right. So tonight, one of my favorite topics, absolutely, well, many of my favorite topics will be covering things like masculine and feminine energies. We'll be talking about how the correct balance can have you having an incredibly passionate relationship and how the incorrect balance can leave you single forever. We'll also be covering your personality type. We'll be revealing the 4 major personality types and really giving you a fantastic heads up on who you should be dating. We'll talk about how to ensure your partner only has eyes for you. And the secret to passionate relationships will be revealed, the dangerous truth about control, and I'll be touching on love languages and how important they really are and maybe help you determine what yours is. So first off the ranks tonight, we'll be talking about masculine and feminine energies and how to get that perfect balance. I don't know if you think that, I think this is an absolutely incredible photo. It's beautiful. A true balance of masculine and feminine energies. I think that's a perfect illustration. So what we do currently, we're in 2013, and there's an absolutely ginormous gender confusion. Basically what we do is we're finding ourselves juggling many roles. I mean, women are having to amp up that masculine energy to survive. They're taking on more roles. Men have absolutely no idea how to respond to that, and they're feeling a big confusion. And as a result of that, there's a massive disconnect between men and women. Women today are now managing the finances, making plans, taking control, direction of their lives, their relationships. They're having babies, generating incomes, doing housework, and assuring the health and vitality of their families, and literally trying to save the world. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of pressure. While these are all very noble duties, meeting the demands of these roles has required us to really step out of our feminine essence and embody more masculine energy. And it's actually coming across as very chaotic. So back in the olden days, in the 60s, it was really easy. Our roles were very well defined. And today, they're really not. So the types of masculine and feminine energies, there's a big distinction between the two. And a positive, healthy relationship needs both parties to actually have an element of both. Generally, it's around 60-40. So men have that slightly higher 60% masculine, and they also do still need that feminine energy. Because feminine energy comes out when they play with the children, when they're nurturing, giving back. And for females, it's the 60% feminine energy, 40% masculine energy, particularly in the home. So when you're out in the workplace, it's all masculine, go, go, go. But to create attraction in the home, it's really important to go back to the core polarities of the masculine and feminine. So it's the way women go into that, that surrendering position where feminine energy is all about trust, sensuality, and being. And masculine, on the other side, is about being direct, in control, having purpose, and really doing the do. So the key here is, the beautiful thing about masculine and feminine energy is that it's a beautiful mirror of each other. And ladies, if you want your man to be more masculine, be more feminine. It will bring it out of him. And gentlemen, on the other hand, if you want your lady to be more feminine, actually amp up your masculine energies, and you'll watch and see her melt. She'll love it, even though she may not be saying that. So every human, we have both masculine and feminine energies, although we tend to have one dominant, and that's our true essence. And for most women, femininity is their true essence, and for most men, masculinity is their true essence. So with that being said, that there are also many women who have developed, as I mentioned before, masculine shells in order to build great careers, generate high income, manage their families and households. And unfortunately, that can come at a cost. So it's really important to check back in within yourself and get back to your natural state and just allowing someone else to take care of things for you. So a relationship is fundamentally just like an organism. It will strive to create balance to ensure its survival. So one partner has the more masculine energy, the other partner will subconsciously begin to embody the feminine energy to create polarity, attraction, and really balance the relationship. So it's really quite fascinating. What I found is when I look around now, I notice that many women of today are having the same complaint with their relationships, that they once fell in love with their partners because they were sensitive, emotionally responsible, spiritual, creative, and really in the flow, and they were everything they're emotionally unavailable. Dads were not. They were comfortable in their feminine essence. And as time has passed, they've realized that their own feminine essence has been compromised. So they're experiencing pain at the very core because most of their roles that they find themselves in, they're not able to be a full expression of their true feminine essence of flow, creativity, trust, and surrender. And at the same time, I see many men in pain at the core of their being because they're not able to fully embody the direct purpose of their life, and they're not expressing their gifts to the fullest. So it seems that in an effort where we've actually trying to do our very best, but unfortunately lost the connection to our innermost essences. So good news is you can actually reclaim your femininity and actually bring out the best, and for men to reclaim their masculinity. So it's all about, for women to reclaim your femininity is to just give back to yourself. I mean, women are naturally sensual, earthy creatures. We're fully present deeply in the home, in our bodies, and on earth. So things like slowing down, giving yourself a bubble bath, taking off the suit, putting on a beautiful dress, putting on some lippy, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, you'll really feel great within yourself and start to feel that feminine energy coming out, and you'll be noticed and appreciated by the opposite sex. Whereas for men, get out there, play a sport, get sweaty, go fishing, go for a drive, whatever it is that brings out your masculine energy. Watch a game of footy, have a beer. So really just go back to the natural core, your natural state. So when you look within, you'll see the truest, purpose of you, and really, really just be able to express your own masculine and feminine. So I've got a little interesting graph, you may want to call it. So it looks at masculine energy and feminine energy. So you can see there's a healthy balance between the two. So the masculine energy comes across as goal-directed, assertive, objective, linear, logical, determined, rational, singular, competitive, and analytical. And you can see how that works beautifully in the workplace. It's all really very much results-oriented, whereas the feminine energy is all about being intuitive, collaborative, multitasking, being emotional, being passive, being creative, being empathetic, receptive, and really allowing flow. So it's rather fascinating. It's probably the reason why women love to go shopping and spend time with their female friends, is actually giving back to themselves, and why men really need that time out. So we It's a beautiful thing, the masculine and feminine energy, and it's just so important to keep it really balanced. So inspire men to be masculine. Most importantly, allow them to feel needed. That will bring out the absolute best in them. Ladies, allow yourself to rest, to not have the weight of the world on your shoulders, and to actually take time out for you. Give yourself that permission. So when you also, how it plays into relationships and also on dates, it's about stepping back. It's about allowing for those silences, allowing for the man, whoop, here we go, allowing for the gentleman to actually make some decisions for you. Personality types is our next topic. So you see we have 4 major personality types. Oh, back to the balance. I was like that. All right, so 4 major personality types, and this is taken out from something called eDisc, which I absolutely love to do. So it starts with dominant. So dominant personality type. So really, well, actually, the 4 that we will cover tonight are the dominant, the influencers, the stable, and the absolute compliant, who are the specialists. So the characteristics of each personality type, I'll go through one by one. So the dominant are really all about outcome. They're very facts related. They love to win. They have an end game in mind. Is this going to get me there? So when they meet a particular person on a date, for example, they tend to be, okay, direct, straight to the point. Is this going to get me what I want to achieve? Could that give me the relationship that I want? Is this person going to be long-term for me? So they have an automatic convincer with criteria. So they're all about, okay, let's look at the checkbox. Is this person going to work for me? Are we going to build our lives efficiently? And is this going to get me there quickly? So they really are driven by certainty and significance. They love high standards, very, very high standards. They're very entrepreneurial. They love hunting. And they're very visual as well. They speak rather fast. They're very much about pictures and words. And it's all about the latest gadgets, the need to be right. They're very, very much a warrior archetype. So they're very much about, they're very strong personalities. The next person we have are the influencers. So in the yellow, you'll see they're very much a joker archetype. They're very touchy-feely. They really have the need to be liked. They're highly, highly driven by fun. They're the captain of optimism. It's all about seeing the glass half full. They have an automatic convincer with no criteria. So when they're on a date, if this is you, it's not so much about the outcome. Will this get me there? They're more about the connection. They're highly driven by love, connection, and variety. So it's about, if they really like you as a person, they'll connect with you. So it's all about, how much of a connection will I have with this person? Are we going to have a lot of fun together? What's our relationship going to be like? And they love to be very spontaneous and live in the moment. Very, very much about people pleasing. They're very big picture and they're very interactive. Also very visual. They love, love, love colours. The third personality type, which is the steady, is the mother archetype. So this person here is very much so glass half full rather than empty, or a bit of both. They tend to be fence sitters. They tend to look to the past to predict the future. So they're very past assurance based. Look at what they really love is tradition. So they're very, very loyal. They make fantastic partners. They don't like change. They stick with the same partner for extremely long amounts of time, they really prefer the known rather than the unknown, highly driven by the need to be comfortable and connection. Love, predictability, very loyal as I mentioned before, and a period of time convincer. So they're pretty relaxed, very accepting, great listeners. They tend to be a slower pace. They're very organized and patient. And the fourth person we have is the compliant. So somebody who is very detailed, very past assurance. They tend to be quite pessimistic. On the other point, it tends to be more about proof. So they want to know that something's going to work. It takes them quite a long time to open up. They're driven by the need to be right. They're a number of times convincer, and it's all about respect and evidence-based. They tend to be quite a big tech head. So, personality types, the four major ones as I mentioned. Dominant, they have the need to win. The influencer, the need to have fun. The stable, the need to be comfortable. And the compliant, the need to be right. If anyone has any questions along the way, do feel free to type away. I'm more than happy to answer. So going back to the relationship or the personality types and who you should be dating, going back to the dominant, who are driven by certainty and significance, who you're most well suited with is someone that gives you that recognition, validation, and praise. Not someone that you're going to butt heads with, so preferably someone with a softer energy type, personality type, somebody who, who's really, really going to give you that support. The biggest thing you have to watch here is that you're not too focused on outcome, because as a result of being too focused on the outcome, it actually takes the fun out of it and you can actually lose the passion. So you don't like to be told what to do, but perhaps it's a good idea to just to lower that D energy and have a bit more fun. So the influencer, the variety driven by the need to have fun. Really important one here is that you're also driven by love and connection. So important that you don't go for types that need to be fixing. Go for somebody that balances you instead. You do have a characteristic to be easily bored, so ensuring that you fulfill your need for variety and adventure within you will ensure that you pick the right particular person for you. So you tend to get bored easily. You're a great communicator, love to have a chat, very charismatic, sensitive to feedback and conflict. So somebody that isn't too hot-headed for you would be a really good match. Someone that also has that real beautiful inner child, likes to have fun. The stable personality type is driven by the need to be comfortable. So someone that provides you with that stability, somebody that provides you with security and safety. It's really important that you always remember your own needs. Sometimes you have a tendency to put everyone before you, and so be careful not to be taken advantage of. And you take your time making decisions, so really embrace that soft side that you have, soft giving side, but also make sure that your own needs are actually fulfilled. And the fourth energy, the compliant, the need to be right, is really, it takes you time to trust and open up. So somebody that has an understanding and then somebody who's going to allow you to get your toe in, one step forward, two step back, and really appreciate that. Somebody that ideally brings out the fun and adventure into your life. Someone that's a bit, you could at times be considered standoffish and be misinterpreted. This is often misinterpreted as cold, but really the compliant person is actually one of the most loyal and dedicated partners that you'll ever meet. It just takes them a long time to trust. So how to ensure, this takes us to how to ensure your partner only has eyes for you and never ever wants to leave. That sounds pretty good to me. Alright. we have a number of points here, which is a good thing. So most importantly, I'm sure you'd agree, is to keep the passion alive. To keep the passion alive, it does take work, but it's fun. So always date, never stop courting, keep the chemistry alive. Never ever take your partner for granted. So you've committed to your partner, so make that commitment to the both of you to have fun. It's really important that you treasure your time together. The fact that we live in such a fast-paced environment, it's really easy to just get caught up in the mundane. But think back to the honeymoon period of what it is that kept that spark alive. And most couples, the reason that is because they went out on dates. They truly, really took the time to explore new things together, to listen to what each other's needs were. It's also important to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, it's so true. How can you love somebody else? So just as you're committed to being with your partner and ensuring that you give them love, it's important that you protect your own self and give love back to you. So all about loving yourself fully, taking that time out for you, not forgetting what it is that really makes you tick. Keep up with the sports, keep the time for your friends, family, the hobbies, the interests that you have. Remember how important they are to you right now and how important they are to keep the passion and chemistry alive. And having your own interests will actually keep your partner highly interested. They'll be really fascinated. Point 3 is to fall in love over and over again. It's my favorite. So you'll constantly change. You're not the same person that you were when you first got together, and as a relationship evolves, when you first meet a particular person, both of you will change and evolve. And as a result of that, the beautiful thing about the fact that you both change is you can fall in love with each other over and over again. And I've had many conversations with beautiful elderly couples that I meet out in the park when I'm walking my dog or in the supermarket. And it's really fascinating to say, what is it that's kept you two together? What is it about what secrets do you have? Because there is a 50% divorce rate, and that's not such a great thing. So I think it's important to model off the people who are succeeding. And yeah, their key message is to just fall in love with each other every day, show that appreciation for each other, communicating each other's needs. It's really important to just stay in touch. No matter how busy you are, always make that time. And that comes back to courting, dating all the time. Point 4 is always see the best in your partner. It's so true. What you focus on is what you get. It really becomes your reality. So if you focus on the things that annoy you, you'll be pretty annoyed. But if you focus on what you love about your partner, how much you adore them, and that particular, whether it's your partner or the person you're in, early days of dating, anyone, always see the best. You start to also, when you think back to yourself, always look at yourself and appreciate you and see the best within yourself. And you'll feel like the luckiest person alive. And I think that's pretty priceless. And always accept your partner for who they are. It's not your job to change him or her. As love evolves, you'll both start to evolve with each other and grow together. Point 5, take responsibility of your emotions. So really be responsible for how you react or respond. It's not your partner's job to make you happy. He or she can't make you sad or happy. You're responsible for finding your own happiness throughout your relationship. If you're feeling a void, ask yourself why, and what is it that you could do right now to change that in any aspect of your life. We have so many emotions we can choose throughout the day. It's really important to ask yourself, okay, I may be feeling sad, or I may be feeling happy, or ask yourself what you prefer to feel and how you can change that too. So really focus on where you want to be, because focus becomes your reality. Point 6, never blame. If you are frustrated with your partner or angry, it's really generally as a result of something that's triggered inside of you. So they're your emotions and they're your responsibility. So when you feel those feelings, take the time to get present. Look within and understand what's inside of you that's asking to be healed. You're attracted to your partner because of this person was best suited to you, and she was the person, he or she was that particular person that may trigger some of your childhood wounds or previous pain from former relationships. The great thing about that is you have the choice to heal yourself, so you no longer be triggered by your partner. And this, I believe, is an incredible thing. Take responsibility, never blame, always look at ways of solutions, because you can be in cause or effect, and you can be an effect of everything that's going on, or you can actually take control and responsibility and be at cause. And when you actually decide to take charge of your life and emotions, it's the most powerful thing that you can do. It's absolutely incredible. Point 7. I love this one. Be childlike. Couples that play together, stay together. I always say that's one of my favorite sayings, and it's so true. Laugh together, try new things together, whether it's Guinness or hockey or some other crazy thing. Try something new. Fill each other's soul every day. Just discover what's important and what makes them laugh. What does your partner look for, and make them feel really cherished. Number 8 is be present. This, I would have to say, is one of the biggest gifts. Quite often you'll notice that when you're talking to a person, they'll generally be thinking of something else. They may be reading, they may be watching TV. And that's really just, it's really disconnecting. So being present is actually one of the greatest gifts that you can give to a person. So what I mean by being present is to allow yourself to connect, is to have that eye contact, is to truly listen. If your partner tells you about their day, validate them, clarify them, ask questions, and be in the moment, even if it's just for a few moments. So, number 9, connect emotionally. Connecting emotionally is all about asking what it is that your partner needs. Are they being heard? Are you being heard? What is it that could take your relationship to the next level? It's all about really just listening and being available. Connecting sexually is also highly important. When times are tough, this can actually get a lot of couples through, that sexual chemistry, that passion. It's all really about finding out what their needs are. Are they being fulfilled? What can you do together? Couples that play together stay together. Have a lot of fun. And also allow your partner to know what it is that you need and want and desire. Having weekends away and exploring, going on holidays, exploring new things is really about connecting sexually, even if it's sending naughty text messages to each other, just cheeky ones, and just staying in touch and keeping that spice alive. Being vulnerable is also really, really important. It's about getting out of your head and into your heart. being willing to share your feelings, and to quickly acknowledge your mistakes. Being transparent. Truth is one of the most powerful things you could offer somebody. So if you really want to have trust, you must be willing to share everything together, especially the things that you don't want to share. It takes courage to fully love, to fully open your heart and let your partner in, even if you really don't want them to find out. Which brings us to one of the universal fears, a fear of not being loved or fear of being found out. It's really, how do you know? How can you fully be yourself and truly connect with your partner until you are completely open with each other? It takes a lot of courage to be fully transparent. It will bring you closer, and it will really develop your relationship and help you with my next point of growing together. So just like a stagnant pond breeds algae, the flowing stream is always fresh and cool. So the natural process is to grow together, have fun, find common goals, dreams, visions, work together with them. A lot of couples over time, they tend to go their separate ways, and that's because they haven't checked in. It's really important to check in with each other. Make sure you're traveling on that same road. Otherwise, it can be pretty lonely if you decide to both go your separate ways, and that isn't a good thing. So it's very important to plan, to talk about your goals, to see where you want to be in 6 months' time, in 12 months' time, in 5 years' time. Bring up the topic of children, bring up the topic of holidays, bring up the topic of where you want to be. Where do you want to live? Is it somewhere else? Or is it where you currently are? A lot of couples just tend to get through life and actually forget about these discussions. They're really very valuable. And when you do happen to have a little hissy fit, as all couples do, it's normal, it's a part of the passion, always focus on forgiving quickly and focus on the future rather than crying about the past. The past is the past. Don't let your history hold you hostage. Holding on to your past mistakes is all about focusing on negativity, and it will get bigger and bigger and bigger and will hold you back. So forgiveness is all about freedom, cutting loose all the past, focusing on the life that you would rather have. It's all about choosing love. The secret to passionate relationships revealed is our next topic. So the secret to passionate relationships revealed. What couples that have the most passion in their relationships, it's truly fundamentally all about connection. They connect, they tell stories, they laugh a lot, they have a lot of eye contact. You'd be surprised at how many couples actually don't look each other in the eye. And eye contact is all about intimacy, and you'll know a good couple with a strong foundation, a really strong relationship, they do take the time to slowly look into each other's eyes, to be present. And a fantastic exercise to keep the passion alive is to say nothing and look into your partner's eyes and be fully present. And a little trick is to match their breathing, blinking, posture, head tilt, and you'll be overcome with a feeling of connection with each other. So if you're ever feeling as though you're in a relationship and you find that things aren't as passionate, you tend to be disconnecting, is actually take a moment to look each other in the eyes and reconnect. A really powerful thing to do also is to tell your partner what you like about them. I think a really cute thing is to write a list, and you can get your partner to write a long list about what it is that you like about them. It could be things like, I like how you make me breakfast, or I like how your nose scrunches up funny when you smile, or I like how you look after the dogs, whatever it is. And then you go on to telling your partner what you love about them. or you can just have a list about what you love about them rather than what you like about them. And it could be little quirky things like, I love the fact that you're passionate about gardening. I love the fact that you laugh at my driving. Whatever it is that really lights up puts a little bit of fire in your belly. Share that with them. Something that they'll appreciate. A nice compliment. Passionate relationships are about being cheeky and playful. And also having fun, something I highly recommend is bring out that inner child, have fun together, have a joke. Really, even after a big day at work, just take that time to switch off. Light a candle, have a game. All right, tonight we're not going to have dinner through lights, we're going to have dinner by candlelight, and I want you to tell me a story. And it could be going back to tell me an embarrassing moment, tell me what happens, rather than focusing on the daily grind, to really have that connection. Back to the fun part. Discover your partner's desires. You'd be surprised how many couples don't talk about it, what each other needs. And it could be desires on a sexual level, it could be desires on where they want to be, what they want to do. You never know, they might even be wanting to go down a different career path or have some dreams. So dreams that you may not know about, that they may be sharing with other people. Most importantly, tell them of your desires. It's a really great opportunity for you to share your needs and also gives them permission to open up. And laugh. Have a great laugh together. Really great way is to even get out there and watch a comedy and get out there to a stand-up. Actually get out there and enjoy maybe going to a comedy night or a concert or something you haven't done for a long time. Even roller skate, whatever it is that's kind of fun and quirky, that would get you laughing. And have a date night every single week. No excuses. You must get to that date night. Sounds like fun to me. All right, we'll be discussing the dangerous truth about control. And I love this picture of that puppet. It's the puppet. So what is it that you need to be in control of, or what's trying to control you? Control is a very interesting thing. Ask yourself, what's behind the need to control? What I've found is that control is really all about trying to be safe. So when a person, if you look at a mother, she'll try to control her children by saying, all right, you need to be home by a certain amount of time, or not allowed to drink, or you're not allowed to go hang out with these particular people. So control is all about keeping her children safe. In a relationship, what I found is a lot of people try to control their partner or who it is they date. They may have had an experience with somebody previously, and as a result of that experience, it may not have been too favorable. They'll eliminate and generalize about the whole population. So it might be they won't date a particular person because they have children, because from a previous experience that they were put second. And that could be the case again or not. So control is really all about trying to keep yourself safe. Unfortunately, what happens is nothing is certain in life. So you can't control a great deal, especially about relationships, because there's another person involved. And by having a lot of control, it actually narrows a lot of opportunities, closes a lot of doors, and acts as a big repellent. And there's only so much you can do before it backfires. Just got a little question here. Oh, I've had a few technical difficulties. Absolutely. For those of you who have technical difficulties, I'm more than happy to send copies of this session out to you. All right. So, brings us to the topic of our love languages, my favorite. There's a really great book, The 5 Love Languages. I just can't think of the author's name. 5 Love Languages. All right. So love languages are, it's really all, it's fundamentally, there are 5 major love languages. Love languages are really the way you communicate love. And you can be with somebody who is a complete opposite to you, and that's fine as long as you get each other's love language. So the different types of love languages that we have, the first one is words of affirmation, which is the most obvious. Compliments, kind words, communicating things like I love you, I love spending, I love the way you do particular things. Big compliments. If they feel loved by words, by the actions that you do actually give them, and sending notes or cards, and really avoid things like criticism with people with words of affirmation. Quality time. The best way to express love to these people is ultimately time. So going on lunches, having one-on-one time, face-to-face conversation, not interrupting, taking long walks together, doing things together, taking trips, weekends away, will really allow that person to feel loved. What to avoid? Quality time. I'm one of these people too, so I get this. Long periods of being apart. More time with friends than a partner. So that's where they'll feel a massive sense of rejection if you don't spend time with this particular person. Because the way they feel love is through time, quality time. They often, their motto is, money can't, love, money can't buy love. Is that right? Money can't buy love. Yeah, so it's all about time with them. There's the third type of love language is about receiving gifts. So they're positive, they're fact-orientated, they love to receive gifts, they often give gifts on special and not so special occasions. And the biggest taboo thing to do with somebody who loves receiving gifts is forgetting special days such as birthdays, anniversaries. That's a big no-no. Acts of service, people who, I can, I will, what else can I do? They love to do things. So, for example, if a man is helping around, I remember having a client, and she was actually with a man who was an acts of service man. So he'd get into her apartment and he'd always fix her taps. He'd always change the light bulbs. He'd love to help around the house, love maintaining. He was all about doing things for her, and that was him showing him love, her love. And she really didn't feel love because he never actually said, I love you. But little did she know that the acts of service was his way of actually saying, I love you. So there are more ways to say I love you than words. So the biggest taboo to do with a person who's in acts of service is ignoring a partner's requests while helping others. Then we have the physical touch, which is a lot of non-verbal needs to be word pictures. So they love things, touch, hugs, pats, kisses, massages, and physical neglect would be a big taboo for this particular person. So I'll give you an example. There could be, you may be a person who is an I love you person. It's all about words of affirmation. For you to know that a partner loves you, you need to hear those 3 magical words. If you don't hear those 3 magical words, you may be thinking, well, they don't love me. And if you're with a quality time person, they may hear the 3 magic words of I love you, find it actually really hard to say them back, but show you how much they love you through time, through the things that they do for you, the way they cook for you, which is again an act of service. Like, it could be a blend of a few. And if you're not hearing the words I love you, they're hearing the words I love you, but you're not spending time together, it's a big mismatch. So it's a really very vital, it's really, really powerful actually. It's not vital, it's powerful to know what your own love language is and what your partner's is. And a great way to work it out is by reading through the table. It's pretty self-explanatory. But you just ask yourself, okay, how do I know when somebody loves me? And if you take a few minutes to ask, how do I know when somebody loves me? And the first thing that comes to mind would generally be your love language. So when I ask myself, how do I know when somebody loves me? It's definitely not about the words. It's not really about the gifts either. It's more about, well, they spend time with me. They come to the beach with me, or we go on weekends away, or we just sit there and do nothing. We just hang out. So it will be a really valuable tool for you, for your future relationships, and if you have existing ones, to take a few moments to discover what your love language is, and ask your partner what their love language is. Ask them, what is it that, how do you know when somebody loves you? And even if you think, gosh, I haven't been in a loving relationship for quite some time, you can relate that back to a family member. How do you know if a family member loves you? What do they do? What do they say? Or what is it that you hear? And this concludes our session for tonight. I want to thank you all for being so wonderful, and I want to thank you for getting in touch with me last week. I had a lot of questions that came through, and they were brilliant, and I'm very, very pleased to hear all that positive feedback. So thank you so much. I will be sending you out a copy of tonight's session, so you can, it'll be recorded and you can listen to it at your leisure. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to email me, samantha@bluelabellife.com.au. And if you haven't received your free copy of Mind Reading Your Partner yet, get in touch with me and I will shoot that through. And I have a question here before I shoot off. Is it more accurate to say that actions generally speak louder than words? Interesting question. Actions do speak louder than words if your love language is actions. So just because if you have that belief of actions speak louder than words, you're generally a quality times person or an acts of service love language, because some people, where their words mean everything. The words are absolutely bigger than actions. So that really comes back down to what your reality is and what you find most important. So if there are any other questions, please do let me know. Happy to send through a copy of the book tonight, and I want to thank you all. You've been absolutely wonderful. Have a lovely evening, and I hope you have some beautiful, relaxing time for you. And well done for taking time out for you. Thank you so much. Night-night.